Dragon Ball Super episode 129 is now officially in the history books as we make our way towards Dragon Ball Super episode 130 with only 60 seconds remaining until the conclusion of the Tournament of Power. Joining me here today to discuss Dragon Ball Super episode 130 and sharing our thoughts and predictions is my good friend Super Saiyan Paul. Now Paul, this upcoming episode is going to be the be-all end-all. Ever since the inception of the Tournament of Power, we've seen the foreshadowing of Goku versus Jiren, and even after their first encounter, we knew at some given point these two were going to make it until the very end. It was very predictable, and now, going into Dragon Ball Super episode 130, we see how Goku masters Ultra Instinct. However, we also get to see how Jiren also begins to use his full power. Now, as we go into this episode, what are your overall thoughts and predictions on mastered Ultra Instinct Goku having to fight Jiren? And again, we leave this open to you guys and letting us know your thoughts down below as to how you guys feel about this upcoming episode. If you guys believe that Goku is going to completely fodder Jiren, if you guys believe the opposite, maybe Jiren has a chance. This is also open to all of you guys to drop your thoughts and your predictions down the comment section below. Also, don't forget to go on ahead and subscribe to the channel, guys, for more Dragon Ball content, as I do have some really awesome stuff planned throughout the week. But Paul, going into this episode, what are your overall thoughts as to what you expect to see from this upcoming fight? What are your overall thoughts on Jiren having to finally use his full power in seeing him in action? And against a mastered Ultra Instinct Goku, what do you think the chances are in Jiren possibly surviving this until the very end?
Mastered Ultra Instinct is pushing Jiren's back against the wall, and the way it seems right now is that Jiren seems like he's going down, because with the way things are going, Jiren was able to match Ultra Instinct Omen for the most part, or even push Goku back until the point where Goku actually caught his blast and transformed and mastered Ultra Instinct.
Right.
That was one of the most amazing moments ever. But besides that, Jiren looks like he's gonna get really messed up in the next episode, like especially in the upcoming part of the fight. Like, what is he going to do against Mastered Ultra Instinct? This form is made for victory, and we know that Goku's gonna have to win in some way, shape, or form. I'm thinking at very best, in the best case scenario for Jiren, he's gonna get a stalemate at the very best, because yet again they're hiding Frieza. Frieza did not show up at all in this episode.
Yeah, it wasn't even mentioned at all. He's just been in the background looming. He's still there. He's not eliminated. He's still there, in case people are wondering.
They didn't show him for a single frame, which is creepy as hell, because like they're not trying to keep this next episode one-dimensional with just Goku and Jiren.
The entire environment was being destroyed, so it's like you would think, did he get caught in any of those explosions? You know, he's somewhere there, but the question is, where is he?
And I don't think they would like just let him die off screen or something, or get knocked out off screen, because with all of the hype from the minute he was revived, his ominous presence is a reason you have to watch the next episode, because it's like a side plot of what he's going to do to either help Goku or maybe even betray Goku. But for the most part, it seems as though he's gonna probably end up becoming a good guy and helping out in the fight against Jiren.
But do you think that Jiren is gonna even remotely stand any chance against Goku? Because, I don't know, to me it just seems like this is it. I really don't see any out for Jiren. However, in the preview, they pretty much made it clear that, you know, he is gonna have some, and I say that very loosely, some fighting chance, because he is going toe-to-toe against Goku in some way, shape, or form. And we see like this red aura around him. His shirt is completely gone, which, you know, what's most interesting about this is the whole shirtless Jiren concept came from fan animations, from fan mods for video games, and I never really thought we would ever see a shirtless Jiren. And just like, you know, Merge Zamasu, first we had a shirtless Merge Zamasu, now we have a shirtless Jiren, and you can only assume that based on the veins that are all around him, he looks like he's really in tune with this fight. Where do you see him, like, in terms of, like, placement against Mastered UI? Because, with the way this fight's gonna go, do you see them both burning each other out? Because I don't want to say that Jiren's going to be relative to Mastered UI, because I don't think that's the case at all. I think he might be slightly below it, but even if that ends up being the case, like, do you still see this being a one and done for Goku? Or, as other people have suggested, do you see this more or less ending to where they both knock each other out and Frieza wins in the end? What do you think?
the way things are going right now, it looks like Jiren's back is against the wall. Like literally, it doesn't seem like he has a chance, especially with those last moments of 129 where Goku, like literally within a second, he hit like 20 shots onto Jiren, and Jiren didn't even know what happened. Like literally, the guy was getting attacked by air.
That reminded me of, if you remember when Dragon Ball GT was around, when Gogeta blitzed Omega, and Omega couldn't like understand what the hell happened, and that's what it brought me back to, because I was like, wow, that was such a good shot, I think, in my opinion.
Jiren, they could have added more backstory or something more to the character, give him a few more lines or something. They didn't do any of that, and now he's just getting fodderized in 100% just getting fodderized by Goku's Ultra Instinct mastered form. And it's like, okay, the very best chance that Jiren has to stay relevant is pull off a stalemate, let Frieza win the tournament, and therefore it's not completely one-sided. However, Jiren doesn't look like he has a chance at all. There's two fighters in the ring. One of them is Frieza, and the other one's Master UI Goku, who is literally bringing Jiren down. And the fact that you see his veins and stuff means that he's at 100%. I don't think you're not going to be at 100% with the veins and the shirt ripped off.
Oh no, he has to be at 100%. You know what's very ironic is that everyone has been talking about, including myself, how Jiren was going to use 100% of his power, and that was only based on interpretation as to what we've been seeing. But now it's like more or less like, yeah, this is it. He is going to use his full power, but my only thing is like, how far is he really going to go? I'm sorry for anybody out there who's a Jiren fan. With the way Mastered Ultra Instinct was displayed, all the gods standing up and everyone looking at, you know, Goku and acknowledging his power, and especially Beerus, and saying that glow, that aura, that energy, he's done it. He's become, you know, one with his power. He's mastered Ultra Instinct. And this is, according to translation, supposed to be the inner powers of Goku. Everything that Goku had ever been training for, you know, everything that Goku has ever been all about. This is it. This is his true power manifested onto the surface. So, going into this episode, however, I mean, do you see it to where it could possibly end off with a winner? Or is episode 130 going to potentially drag on a bit to where the end, the real end, is going to happen during the middle of 131, and then the final remaining minutes of 131 is, you know, the traditional farewell goodbye as we go into something else? But for me, because the way I see it, this entire episode is gonna have to be like Smash Mouth, you know, just balls to the wall action for them to tell that story. And then going into episode 131, they're gonna have to either make the wish or do something along those lines. So do you see episode 130 dragging as far enough in extending into 131, or do you see episode 30 being the be-all end-all fight for the Tournament of Power, and that's it from there?
The interesting part about this is that episode 129, they did not announce how many minutes were left of the tournament like they always do. But the next episode, there's only 1 minute, and I have a feeling with these 2 episodes left, one's going to be a battle episode and one's going to be a story-driven episode, which is going to be 131. Battle episode on 130. And the interesting part about this is that Jiren as a character, like if you look at him, he had this very ominous presence before, and he looks super cocky and confident. But the way things are looking in episode 130, the guy looks shook. And the most ominous presence right now in the ring is Frieza.
I don't know, man, because Frieza right now, even though he is being hidden in the shadows, what more can Frieza do? Let's say he does stand up, or, you know, he does intervene. The only thing I can see him doing is breaking the ground beneath, you know, the fighters for him to ensure himself a victory, because he's not going to be dumb enough to go in there and fight these guys head on. You know, Mastered UI Goku and a full power Jiren. There's no way. At this point, I'm fairly convinced he's not going to get involved. I think directly. If Frieza were to be involved, I think that he's gonna more or less do it from a distance. There's no way he's gonna fire any shot or do anything that's gonna, you know, cause any sort of like interruption. But do you think that it is possible for him to do so? So let's say, hypothetically speaking, there's only a few seconds remaining. Do you see him legitimately jumping in and pushing them both off, or at least bodying them, or even sacrificing himself to where all 3 of them go off the stage? Or do you see him just more or less being kept off screen until the very end, to where, you know, there is a winner and that winner is him, and then he goes on to make the wish? What do you think?
The reason why I still say Frieza has a major part to play, or it's very apparent that you have to keep your eyes on him, is because remember, after the first time Jiren and Goku fought, they kept specifying that Jiren's power level dropped significantly even while he was meditating afterwards. Like when he jumped into the small fights, he was like, they were like, he's weaker than when he fought Goku in Ultra Instinct. So, and then remember Goku after that fight, the guy was just flat out on the ground. So do you think that maybe Goku is going to drain Jiren down to the point where this guy is like at the power level of Frieza, where Frieza could take him on, and maybe Jiren might just push Goku, which I don't necessarily see happening. but maybe pushing Goku to the point where he's just as beat up as before. But Goku right now seems just super overpowered. Like, this guy's broken as hell. But Jiren, it's been shown that he can decrease in power, and it might be to a point where Frieza can touch him.
I don't know about that. I really don't see Frieza touching anybody. I mean, looking at how, all right, obviously episode 130, we saw how they were literally shattering the fabric of speed. Their entire environment around them was collapsing. The way these two were fighting, it was on an incredible level. I mean, speeds that transcended dimensions. These guys were really, you know, ahead of their own, you know, pack. But I think that with everything we've seen from Frieza, I don't think that Frieza is anywhere near that kind of a caliber. But to me, I'm calling it right now, Goku's gonna win. Goku's gonna win easy, and it sucks because the way they've been building Jiren this entire time, it just feels different because in the beginning, he was very ominous, like, you know, the silent warrior. You knew that he was going to be a problem, but he was never really presented as that obstacle yet until they met him on the field. And then later on, they slowly allowed him to become more or less you know, cocky and arrogant, and just, you know, giving him a bit more character development. But do you think that his character development's really going to shine on through in this episode, or is it going to be a straight brawl and then they're going to end it off from there? What do you think?
Honestly, my honest opinion with Jiren is that I don't think they knew what they were doing with this character. Like you said, in the beginning, he seemed like somebody completely different, and then towards the middle and the end, especially when Toppo got eliminated, this guy seemed like someone else. And then with the backstory, it didn't seem like they knew what to do to build this guy up, and all they ended up doing with him was just hype train him as the strongest character in the ring, hype him up as the strongest character in the ring. His character design and everything, it's always been like, okay, it's kind of simplistic compared to the other villains, but like, I don't think they knew what they're doing. They just made him super strong, someone for Goku to master UI against and fodderize him. He's a fodder character.
So you really think Goku's gonna fodder him? I'm not. I mean, now he is, but with this whole Ultra Instinct fight, it really was a good fight. I think that was the fight that we all wanted to see back in 110. And I don't know about you, but I think episode 130, or at least 129 going into 130, eclipses episode 109 and 110. I'm not sure if you agree with that because of all the events that transpired between Goku and Jiren then, but I just felt like seeing the way they fought and seeing the way they had a back and forth struggle in this episode really did justice based off of the missing things that we wanted to see from episode 110 and whatnot. So how do you feel about this fight with with Ultra Instinct Goku and Jiren in comparison to episode 110 and 109?
I think the moment that he got into the Mastered UI form especially, it gave me, like, the first time I saw Ultra Instincts, I got goosebumps. And then when I saw this form again, it seemed like it was almost the same exact feeling. And on top of that, it kind of gave me the feeling like when I was a kid again and I saw Super Saiyan 3 for the first time. It was like I was about to flip my keyboard at how amazing and awe I was at just looking at it. So I would say this overshadows what we've seen previously. And what I'm hoping to see with the defeat of Jiren, I wanted to make it more flashier than what we've seen, how Goku defeated Kefla, because that to me was the standout moment for Goku in this tournament and one of the most badass eliminations yet.
I don't think he's gonna do the same thing against Jiren though. It's not gonna be that easy. But let me ask you, if it was written to where Jiren eliminates Goku, right? Because that'll be a huge twist, because everybody would be expecting, including me, to see Goku win. But what if that doesn't end up being the case? What if it's actually Jiren that ends up bringing out Goku, and then based on him just being exhausted, he either collapses or something else happens? Do you see it to where there's any kind of possibility for Jiren to win, or do you think that it's just pretty much a one and done deal in the idea that he's either going to, you know, allow this to be a draw, or it's just going to be a one-sided fight where Goku wins? What do you think?
Universe 7 is going to win regardless.
Hands down? I
think hands down, Universe 7 is going to win. The only way I see Jiren winning is if, like, Goku runs out of power somehow and then Jiren gets the hit on him, but then Frieza's going to have to come in and take him out, or it's a stalemate, maybe both of them get ringed out, or it's like they're both just down on the ground and nobody can, like, get up. That's the only thing I see happening with Jiren at this point. It seems like he's just a character to be used as a punching bag at this point, because, like, they don't know what they wanted to do with him, and that's all his purpose is right now. It's just to be defeated.
It's very very unfortunate that Dragon Ball Super has to come to an end, because I went on record in saying that Mastered Ultra Instinct should have been saved for another arc, but we come to the understanding that yes, going into this battle, Jiren was always going to be the obstacle that Goku needed to overcome in order for him not only to get stronger, but to conquer all of the demons that he's been facing and pretty much emerging out of this the strongest in possibly all the universes. But I definitely feel like with this Mastered Ultra Instinct power, it's kind of hard to say for sure that Goku is going to have any sort of trouble against Jiren. I don't think that, in my personal opinion, going into this episode, that Jiren is going to do anything that's going to pretty much be as effective to Goku as to what Goku's going to be doing to Jiren. And by the end, I'm calling it right now, Goku is going to just completely wreck Jiren, unless of course they end up doing something with Frieza to where Frieza jumps in and Frieza has more of a significant role than how we saw previously, because in the last, episode or two, we haven't really seen anything from him. We haven't heard anything from him, so he's there somewhere lingering. But I'm also going to make the prediction now in saying that I think that they're going to end up buffing Jiren, because going into this fight, there's no way that Jiren should even be able to touch Goku, and I feel like by the end of this, we are going to see a significant increase in power from Jiren, even though not many people are going to agree with that idea, because I think that to have Jiren scaled to Mastered UI, at least now, would be more than logical to have, because of course if you have episode 130 with Goku completely running roughshod on Jiren, then the episode becomes a tad bit boring without any resistance. So Goku is going to be met with resistance, which I'm really happy that they're going to do, but in the end, I think that despite what kind of opposition, Jiren becomes against Goku, Goku's going to end up completely stomping, no competition. I'm calling it right now, and it's really sad to say, because as I just said, we saw the progression of Jiren as he went into episode 109, 110, and the other episodes previous to that, we saw how much he's learned from studying Goku, from growing as a warrior, and then by the end, being met with this kind of an obstacle. I don't see Jiren emerging as the winner. But in the end, we would like to get your thoughts down in the comment section below. What are your overall expectations for Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku and having to fight Jiren? What are your overall thoughts as to seeing the progression of Goku in this fight in winning against Jiren? But even if that ends up being the case, if Goku wins, where do you see him going from there? Let us know your thoughts down below, and also let us know your thoughts down below as to how powerful do you guys believe Jiren is going to be as we go into the upcoming episode. Once again, there is not going to be an episode going into March 10th, but instead, the next episode is going to be airing on March 17th. So thank you all so much for watching, guys. Once again, if you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, guys. Turn on all notifications if you guys are new. Don't forget to also leave a like down below. Follow me on Twitter and Snapchat. Links will be located down below. Tune back in for more, and we'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below. Cue my outro, bitch.